The World Youth Alliance works with young people around the globe to build a culture that supports and nurtures the dignity of each human person from conception to natural death. And joining us now from Stamford, Connecticut is the Regional Director of the World Youth Alliance North America, Sioban Heekin-Canedy. Thank you so much for joining us, Sioban.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, Colleen.
I'd love for you to just give us right now a history of the World Youth Alliance.
Yes, absolutely. So WYANA, as we call it, was founded in 1999 when a young 21-year-old college student named Anna Halpine attended a conference on development at the United Nations. And she was really shocked when 32 young people took the floor and made some very radical demands, most notably abortion as a human right, deletion of parental rights, and, quote, sexual rights for children as young as 10. So think abortion, contraception, you name it. As a reaction of conscience, she and some friends went home and printed up bright pink flyers that said, "These young people do not represent us. We think it's more important to talk about real development concerns, things like sanitation or jobs or clean water." And ultimately, their demands come down to sex, money, and power. So please stand fast for your principles. They returned the next day, distributed these flyers among the delegates at the UN. And as you can imagine, this caused pandemonium. Apparently, everything was put on hold for 2 or 3 hours. But at the end of this time, some of the delegates from developing countries that were really getting pushed around came to Anna and said, "Thank you so much for what you did. We want you to come to our countries and work with our young people, and we want you to have a permanent presence at the UN." So I always tell this story, one, because it's an incredible story of a courageous young woman, but also because 23 years later, that's still what we're doing. We have that presence at the UN, but we're also on the ground working with young people around the world. So I think it's a great way to really understand what we're all about.
Yeah, it really shows how one young person, she's 21 years old, and she was and is still making a difference. And you go from this one young woman to now you've been building this global coalition. How many young people belong to YWA?
Yeah, absolutely. So we now have over 1 million members if we count affiliated organizations. So members are young people between the ages of 10 and 30 who share our values and sign the WYA Charter. And of course, beyond that, we also have WYA Friends. So we always appreciate the support of those who are over 30 as well.
So WYA, actually 30 years old, but some of the members are as young as 10 years old?
Yes, you can sign our charter once you turn 10.
And tell us how you do work. It's divided into 3 areas. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. So we talk about the 3 pillars of advocacy, education, and culture. So under the umbrella of advocacy, we, of course, have that permanent presence at the United Nations. We're also at the European Union, the Organization of American States, and we have advocacy projects going on at both national and local levels around the world. In the realm of education, one of our core programs is the Certified Training Program. So this can be done entirely online, also in some of our local chapters. And I like to call it a crash course in the philosophy of the human person within an international policy context. So we read authors ranging from John Paul II and C.S. Lewis to Gandhi and Nelson Mandela, really drawing on a variety of cultures and faith traditions to forge this consensus around who the human person is without watering down that truth, but articulating it in a way that we can get a lot of people behind it. We also have our internship program. So it just so happens the deadline for the North America internships is coming up this Friday. So it's not too late to apply if you go to our website. And finally, we have our human dignity curriculum. I see you're showing the banner right there. And this is fantastic. It's a K through 12 character formation curriculum that teaches kids as young as 5 an authentic anthropology of the human person. And this is such a great alternative to some of the really problematic educational programs that get pushed both within our own country, but also through some international organizations around the world.
Sioban,
and then
when you go back to the internship program, which someone would have to apply by Friday, what does an internship involve?
Absolutely. So right now we have both online and in-person internships within the North America office. So online, you could do part-time or full-time, and we have you working on projects like member recruitment, blog posts, you participate in the certified training program, et cetera. In person, a lot of the projects are very similar, but you'd actually be based in our New York global headquarters on the Upper East Side of Manhattan.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. With the education, you really equip these young people with a lot of information, a lot of research on critical topics. So they are well informed.
Yes, absolutely. I think what we have to offer is really something unique, the way that we ground all of our policy work in this philosophy of the human person, in this authentic anthropology. And then building off of that, we have, for example, our Advocacy Academy training. So that's where we start to really look at some of these hot button issues like abortion, surrogacy, sustainable development, and really draw on good data, good arguments to equip young people to engage in the culture at large.
If you don't mind, Sioban, on a personal note, when I was reading your biography, and you spent many years as an elite ice dancer representing Ukraine.
Yes.
Wow. And I just can't help but think what you're going through right now.
Yeah, it's definitely been a difficult time. My background, long story short, I ended up skating for Ukraine because my ice dance partner was himself from Ukraine. So it really became kind of an adopted country for me. I have such a love for the people, the country. So it's definitely been difficult to watch what's going on. And I think more and more, I'm just, convinced all we can do in this situation is pray. Of course, there's concrete things we can do to try to help, but really just, coming back to equipping young people to understand the dignity of the human person so that the next generation doesn't need to experience this sort of thing over and over again. And ultimately, all we can do is pray.
Exactly. Your life's work now. So, Sioban, thank you so much. Tell everyone where they can go for more information and information on the internships.
Yes, of course. So our website is just WYA.net. If you want to look for internships, you add a /internship to that. And I'd really encourage you just to start by signing our charter. So that's front and center on our website, and that's what will get you on our email list so you don't miss anything that's going on, and you'll show your support for our work, which is really invaluable to us.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it today.
Thank you so much, Colleen.